Welcome to Have You Read It? The channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Whether you're here for self-help, personal growth, or business inspiration, there's something for everyone. Today we're diving into No Rules Rules, Netflix and the Culture of Reinvention by Hastings and Erin Meyer. This book isn't just a behind-the-scenes look at one of the most disruptive companies of our time. It's a practical guide to building a culture of freedom and responsibility that fuels exceptional performance, innovation, and employee satisfaction. Our story begins with a David and Goliath showdown. In 2000, a fledgling Netflix, barely 2 years old, proposed a partnership with Blockbuster, the reigning king of home entertainment. Netflix, hemorrhaging money and with a fraction of Blockbuster's size and resources, offered to run Blockbuster's online presence. Blockbuster declined. Fast forward a decade, and Netflix is a global entertainment powerhouse, while Blockbuster is a relic of the past. The question is, how? Hastings attributes Netflix's remarkable adaptability and success to its unique culture, a culture that prioritizes people over process, innovation over efficiency, and freedom over control. This no rules rules philosophy may seem counterintuitive, even reckless. But as we unpack the book, we'll see how this seemingly unorthodox approach has enabled Netflix to not only survive but thrive in a rapidly changing industry. The foundation of Netflix's culture is built on 3 interconnected principles: talent density, candor, and removing controls. Let's break down each of these elements. First up, talent density. Hastings learned a valuable lesson during the dot-com crash of 2001 when Netflix was forced to lay off a third of its workforce. Despite the initial pain and increased workload, the company's performance improved. Why? Because the remaining employees were the highest performers. This experience highlighted the incredible impact of surrounding yourself with stunning colleagues, exceptionally creative individuals who accomplish significant work and collaborate effectively. Hastings emphasizes that even a few adequate performers can drag down an entire team, sapping managers' energy, lowering the quality of discussions, and ultimately driving top performers to seek greener pastures. A great workplace, Hastings argues, isn't about perks. It's about the intellectual stimulation and shared passion that comes from working alongside brilliant minds. He learned this by applying research that showed how one slacker, jerk, or pessimist can bring down an entire group's performance by 30 to 40%. Once you've established talent density, the next step is to cultivate candor. Netflix encourages a level of honesty rarely seen in corporate settings. Employees are expected to say what they really think, even if it means challenging their boss or offering critical feedback to a colleague. While this may seem like a recipe for conflict, Hastings argues that open communication is essential for rapid innovation and decision-making. He cites personal experiences, both in his marriage and at Netflix, where honest feedback led to breakthroughs and stronger relationships. But there's an art to candor. It's not about being brutally honest or tearing people down. Netflix emphasizes 4A feedback. Feedback that aims to assist, is actionable, is expressed with appreciation from the receiver, and allows the receiver to choose to accept or discard the feedback. This framework ensures that feedback is constructive and focused on improvement, not personal attacks. He also learned from personal experience to listen more than he speaks when he receives feedback. And Netflix goes above and beyond simply encouraging candor between individuals. They embrace organizational transparency. They open the books, sharing sensitive financial and strategic information with all employees. This level of openness builds trust, fosters a sense of ownership, and empowers employees to make informed decisions. Hastings shares how, after Netflix's IPO, he continued to share financial data with employees before releasing it to Wall Street, a practice seen as reckless by many, but which has never resulted in a leak. With a foundation of talent density and candor, Netflix can begin removing controls. They famously have no vacation policy, no travel and expense policy, and very few decision-making approvals. This freedom and responsibility culture empowers employees to manage their own time and resources, making decisions they believe are in the company's best interest. Now, this might sound like a utopian dream for employees and a nightmare for managers. But remember, this only works because of the groundwork laid in the first two steps. Because Netflix has such high talent density, they can trust their employees to make responsible choices. And because they've fostered a culture of candor, colleagues hold each other accountable, providing feedback when someone's actions are misaligned with the company's goals. Of course, there are challenges and potential pitfalls to this approach. One concern is that without clear guidelines, employees might abuse the freedom they're given. Hastings acknowledges this risk, sharing examples of employees who took advantage of the unlimited vacation or expense policies, but he argues that these instances are rare and easily addressed. More importantly, the gains in speed, innovation, and employee satisfaction far outweigh the costs of occasional misuse. Another challenge is maintaining this culture as the company grows and expands globally. As Netflix has become a global enterprise, they've had to adapt their approach to different cultural norms. While the principles of talent density, candor, and removing controls remain constant, the application of these principles requires cultural sensitivity and adaptation. For instance, the direct feedback that works well in the US might be considered rude or disrespectful in other cultures. Netflix has learned to navigate these cultural nuances, adjusting their communication styles and feedback mechanisms to ensure that candor remains constructive and effective across different cultural contexts. One of the key tools Netflix uses to maintain talent density is the keeper test. Managers are regularly asked to consider, if one of my people were to quit tomorrow, would I fight hard to keep them? If the answer is no, then it's time to let that employee go, even if they're a decent performer. This may seem harsh, but Hastings emphasizes that it's about creating a team of A players, not settling for B players, even if those B players are nice people who work hard. He also argues that it is important to fire people with respect and provide them a generous severance package so that they can focus on finding a role that is a better fit for them. So, what's the secret sauce? How can you apply these principles to your own team or organization? It all starts with building talent density. Focus on hiring the very best, even if it means paying top of market. Prioritize talent over experience or pedigree. Look for individuals who are not only exceptionally skilled but also collaborative and passionate, and don't be afraid to let go of adequate performers to make room for superstars. Next, cultivate candor. Encourage open communication, even when it's uncomfortable. Implement feedback mechanisms like 360-degree reviews or regular feedback sessions. And most importantly, lead by example, soliciting feedback openly and responding with gratitude. Once you've established talent density and candor, you can begin removing controls. Start small, perhaps with a more flexible vacation policy or expense policy. As trust and accountability grow, you can gradually remove other controls, empowering your team to make more decisions independently. And finally, remember that building a culture of freedom and responsibility is an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. It requires constant attention, adaptation, and a willingness to experiment. But the rewards, a faster, more innovative, and more fulfilling workplace, are well worth the effort. No Rules Rules offers a radical yet practical approach to building a high-performing organization. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but it provides a powerful framework for rethinking traditional management practices and creating a workplace where talent thrives, candor fuels innovation, and freedom drives responsibility. Thanks for watching Have You Read It? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.